Fat Guy Flies RC here. Alright, we're going to proceed on. We've got the Turbo Timber Evolution here. We did the unboxing video. And so now we're going to go ahead and do the build. And as I mentioned in the unboxing, I wasn't going to put on the leading edge slats. Instead, I put the provided red stickers to cover the white portions up where you would normally apply the slats. So I decided not to do this. So what we're going to do, the manual says the very first step is to install your landing gear. Now, the nice thing about this turbo, this whole section is hard plastic. This will really take an impact, and you can see these metal, I don't know, riders or structures that you're actually going to screw your landing gear into. So that's where it's going to go. This is obviously, this is going to slide in this, here, let me pull the string. It's going to slide right in that slot there, and you can see where the screw holes are going to line up. Now this is the only place on this plane where you're going to use machined screws, and they're a button head style, and they are gold or brassy in color, and they're the only ones that are that color. Now, E-flite, FMS, Horizon Hobby, why is it that you go through all the expense to make this beautiful model, you make these beautiful manuals, and then you separate all the screws, and you even say, you know, A, B, but you don't ever label the little baggies of screws. If you would just take the time to do that, it would be so much nicer. It really would. So anyway, so these are the only machine screws. So we're going to get them out. All right. And they are Phillips head, just so you know. So get yourself a nice magnetic screwdriver. We're going to slide it in there. We're going to slide it in, man. Slide that puppy on in there. Okay, oh. I guess the magnet's not working real good on that one. There we go. Well, we got this good, reliable, cheap Chinese screwdriver that works a lot better. Imagine that. So, anyways, I don't know if I introduced myself in case you're watching this for the first time, but I am Fat Guy Flies RC, and this is my workbench. This is my channel, and I like to bring you, if I can afford it, the latest and greatest of the releases of the E-flite or any of the planes, really. And I'll be honest, I bring you planes that strike my interest. You know, there are times I will buy a plane strictly for the site because people really like it, and I want to, you know, share my knowledge or whatever I have on it. But not always. Sometimes, but usually it's a plane that I want to fly. And I like to think that I kind of represent the general interest of the hobby as far as the electric airplanes go. To this date, this is all that I have is electric. I have had the gassers, as you call them, in the past, but now, I stick with the electric. It's cleaner, it's easier, and I just like it better. I just like it. All right, now that's going to go all the way in, and you'll feel it seat. You don't want to necessarily get that, you know, get it nice and tight, because you do have a, you know, you got a metal machine screw into a machined metal area, but you don't want to, you know, you think about how big your hand is, you know, you're stronger, so you don't want to strip it. Okay, and then, like I say, there's only 4 of these. You'll see this roller here, this metal roller. Make sure you got the flat side. Make sure you got the flat side up, because that's where you connect the flat side there. And I've already showed you, you line the holes up. I'll show you what it looks like once I get it all attached here. And it's you look at it, it's very obvious. It's not, there's no mystery here. It's pretty darn simple. You know, get in there fairly snug, and then line your other one up. Because if you cinch this one down now, then you're not going to be able to adjust for the other one. So don't necessarily want to cinch that down just yet. Okay. Get the other one lined up. In there nice and purty. Get her all in there nice and purty, man. Okay. Get the elbow in the camera there. Alright. You'll feel it. When it lines up, it'll be obvious. Okay. Alright. Now let's get that cinched in there. Okay. And like I say, these are only machined screws, button head style, and they're Phillips head. And that one there. Okay, good. Now, and that's how it's going to look for right now. They're going to be kind of floppy. Okay? Careful not to strip the head of the screws. I almost did that with that first one. Now, you're going to find you another little baggie that has two little button head screws and two little washers. Okay? They just say, they don't say anything about these washers, but they're the only place you use them. Okay? Keep your little bags and stuff out of the way. And now, you see these screens, or these springs? We're going to go ahead and join it. You have two little holes here, and this is where you're going to put that screw and that washer to connect the bottom of the springs here. Okay? I suggest run your screw through the little washer there. Run this through the spring, in the spring, in the spring, in the spring. Okay? And I suggest doing just one for now. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you've got to join that center section, okay? And according to the manual, well, let's just go with the manual, because it should, yeah, it'll be all right. It should place it fine. All right, I don't mean to keep reversing gears on you. Take your screw, put your little flat washer through it there, run it through the bottom of this spring. That's what that washer is for. Find that plastic, hard plastic hole, okay? And this is why you have a self-tapping spring. Okay, this is not the type of area where you would put Loctite, because you're going to be touching plastic. Loctite and plastic don't like each other. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? Alright. I get my big old head out of it here. Alright, well, anchor that down. Like I say, it's obvious. Okay? That springs. Now we're going to join these springs together. Now, what they've done is, you see this little like joiner knuckle here. They've already got the screws installed. And so what you want to do, carefully, without removing, because this is one airplane they don't give you extra. I don't see any extra screws. So you think for as much as you pay for it, there'd be extra screws. Maybe there are, I'm just missing them. There is a little bag of screws, I can't figure out what they're for, so that's probably it. But anyways, you're going to undo these screws, okay? Carefully. Now, you see here, you've got a X shape, right? All right. In this plastic, you have an X shape. So there you go. You're going to fit the wire of these springs. I'm going to attempt to fit them, maybe, in that X. Okay? All right, and then you're going to take these screws and they're going to join. The biggest thing is that each of these screws hook on the inside of these knee parts of the spring there. That's important. That's very important. Okay. Make sure I'm following everything right. Yeah. The flat part, the screw head, goes towards the nose. So we're going to join that there. Okay, I'm going to get my little... Yeah, I guess maybe I could have done that one at a time, possibly, maybe, you know. Ow. Why I said ow, it didn't hurt at all. Okay, hold on. Load the phone. Now we gotta find our parts. Parts is parts. Drop to my little screw. Drop to my brain. Where did it go? Who am I? Goodness gracious. Okay. Mainly what I have dropped. What have I dropped? Where did it go? It's the back plate. So let me stop the film, find my part. I'm back, found it. It had rolled up underneath my manual. So not really sure how it did that, but it did that. Okay. This is probably the most, I would say, tedious part of the build. Really, it is. It's kind of tedious. And but like I say, you've got two screws, okay, and you've got front plate and back plate, and you want one screw to be on either side of these knees. Yeah, on either side. Let me see, make sure you can see that. On either side of those knees there, and that way they'll grab those knees. They're going to run through the bend of the knee. Okay, the flat part of the plate goes towards the nose. Okay, now all right, so let's see if we can't, and I have a mod that I do to all, so you already know what I'm doing, so if you can't see it, I've already explained it to you. Pretty simple. The screw is going to go on one side of the plate there. I'll go on one side of the knee. And it should screw right into it. I mean, it came out of it, so it should screw right into it. You know, should being the operative word there. Okay. You want to let that screw just kind of hang on that knee to give you some support as you anchor it into its back plate. All right, now you got one in there, and it's hanging on that knee there, so it's got a hold of it. So now you're going to take your other screw and you're going to run it through that side, making sure that you get it on the inside of that knee. Okay. If you want, press it up against there. That way that screw is passing through on the underside of that knee. Okay. And that way they're attached on both sides. And as they anchor down, those little channels molded into that plate. And as that anchors down, it should find the correct channel. Should. There again, key word there, should. Okay. That don't look right. That don't look right. So let's loosen it up a little bit. There we go. Loosen this one up a little bit. There. It should look, once you get it lined up, it should look nice and even and the same on both sides. Now that's the way I like it. Support it with your finger here and then anchor it back down. Once you feel like you're happy with how it looks even, this is the part where you'd anchor it back down. Okay. And remember, you're going to metal screw into a plastic housing, so nice and tight and snug, but no more than that. Okay. No more than that. Just nice and tight and snug. Now here is my mod. I have to see, now that's that spring action, right? Okay. Here's my mod. I've had these plastic knuckles fail. So what I like to do, and to keep it straight, take these little cheap zip ties and I run that through between them two screws, okay? And I like to anchor that bad boy down, okay? Take that there, then go the other way, okay? And that way your springs won't ever get out of alignment with that knuckle. Okay? They really should never get out of alignment with that knuckle, because you have secured them in there. And that's just with a zip tie. Now that's just my little thing. You don't necessarily have to do it. But if for whatever reason that knuckle were to fail, the zip ties will be there to back you up. That's just a free build tip from me. I don't charge extra for it. All right, now the computer says next, the next thing to do is to go ahead. Why we don't go onto the tail, I don't know. But the model says, or the instruction says, to bind the aircraft next. So we're going to follow the model. We're going to follow the instructions. Okay? Now, I'm going to choose to use, I've already got the model set up in the radio as far as, I don't have anything special. I mean, I've got the flap set up, I've got my throttle cup set up, but I've got it set up just by the book for a DX9. And there's a real nice grid right here. If you have one of these DX series or DX9 or NX or IX, it tells you exactly how to set it up. So I've already got it set up there. Okay. It says, why we're doing this now, I don't know, but this is how the manual goes. I'm going to bind it with no safe. I'm going to bind it with AS3X only, because that's how I roll. But yes, there's nothing wrong with safe, and I'm sure it's a great tool. But for me, I don't use it. I don't want it. Yes, I could keep it on. Okay, you know what? Let me just go ahead and I'll put it on a switch. But I'll be honest, I don't like it. I don't use it, but I'll put it on a switch. And that way I don't have to worry about it. So, to enable safe select, you're going to make sure on your transmitter that your throttle's all the way down. Okay? You're going to connect the power. Okay, in there, like I just did. Okay, you're going to press and hold the bind button, which is in the front of the transmitter. Okay, you're going to bind it to your transmitter, which turn it on, hold the bind button. And then you're going to let go of everything. All right, so that is how, look at that. The servos are working for the ailerons and stuff that are not in any way, they must already have, they got a, look at this. Look at this. I'm already moving my ailerons, and they've got a mix already installed. I did not know that. I did not know that. Okay. There's the motor. Motor off. So, all right. Well, that's that. That's what it says to bind it. So now we're going to turn it off. Okay. Okay. I'm going to turn my radio off. We're going to go back to the build. For whatever reason, they felt it was necessary to do that there at that step. So, we're going to proceed on. I'm going to take this battery out of here. And just so you know, that's an HRB 2600 60C 4S. Just for your own information. Let me hang up my transmitter. Okay. And let's turn our attention to the tail. Okay. Now, for this section, you're going to have these two longer, where are they? Where did they go? All right, they're little button screws, and I got a button head, and they're self-tapping. Okay. I want to say they're 12 millimeter. Oh, by the way, get yourself one of these. They're very, very, very handy. They're just very, very handy to have around. Okay. All right. For the tail, we're going to take that metal spar. We're going to find our tail. We're going to find our horizontal stabilizers. Okay. And go ahead and take, you see there's a hole there. Take your metal joiner or spar. Okay. Only the decal side up. There's a hole that's obvious right there. Slide that in there. And it's obvious how it fits. Okay. It only fits one way. It only goes one way. And if you see here, got that quick connect. Hold on, let me make sure you can see it. Got that quick connect there. Slide in your other one. And I've already worked my hinges. Did that in the unboxing. Then you're going to line both parts of the tail up. And they just key in with each other like that. Okay. Then you're going to take these button head self-tapping screws. They go in from the top, going down, just like we have it here. Okay. Just like so. Okay. Now, when you're doing something like this, support the bottom of your model. Okay. And that's going to find its home. Sorry, I'm going to keep my elbow there. Okay. You'll feel it. It's obvious when it hits bottom. Okay. Hits bottom, you're done. You've gone far enough in. Okay. Like I say, these are self-tapping. That means they're going to go into they're going to go into plastic. They're going to seat themselves. You know, and if you find yourself you're having to keep taking them out and this, that, and the other, you might want to put a little bit of a foam safe CA or something like that to kind of back them up. But they're not going to come out. Now, and the nice thing about it is as you support the bottom of it, you can feel the tops of them poking through. Now, let's go ahead, connect it. The instructions say at the furthest hole out. Now, that's okay. And with these type of quick connects, it's hard to explain how they work. But they basically just snuggle up and they hold the end of the L-shaped rod that will go through your control surface, through the horn of your control arm there. So it's hard to, they just kind of they pop off. Maybe easier to use a I can't explain. They're just there. You'll understand it. They come off pretty easy. Okay. And then they have a channel, and then you want to line that end, pop it on, and then this just pops into place. It's you just have to see it to understand it. You just have to be careful. Hold your finger to hold it in place as it covers the end of the control rod angle there, a little, or put something there to keep it from popping out on you. And I wish I had someone to zoom in and to show you what I'm doing here, but you'll see it. It's you'll understand it when you see it. It's not hard. Okay, there, it's on there now. And then you're gonna just kind of pop it back on there, and you'll feel it. It's one of those things that once you see it, you're just like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. So, okay, and it's in there. It's not going to come out. I mean, once it's on there, it's on there. And I guess if you were really worried about it, you could now take another little bitty zip tie and put that on there, and it definitely wouldn't come off then, but I think that's just fine. Okay, and so now we have that. Okay, now we can turn our attention to the wing. Now the wing is insanely simple. Also, something fell. Oh, the prop. And yeah, and it's set up nice. You can see it's nice and straight, so I'm good there. I don't think I have to worry about that. Okay, this is so simple. I just dropped everything. Okay, well, you know, hey. All right, folks, I've lost my mind. So, we're going to take our wing. We're going to take our plastic joiner and our two nylon screws, and that's what holds the wing on. They just tongue and groove in the top. So let's go ahead and put our cap back on there. Okay, you're going to take one wing, and you see you got this quick connect. It plugs in only one way. Okay, very simple. It's only going to go one way. Okay, so let that lay right there like that. Going to take your other wing. Okay, we're going to run it through the joiner. Get it so far close. Take your little quick connect that only it channeled, only fits on there one way, and you'll feel it get all nice and happy and snuggy and in there. Okay. Okay. Join your two wings together. No foam in the way. They're only going to fit a certain way. They're only going to fit one way. Make sure you don't have any wires sticking out on either side, and I don't. Okay, because that's going to tongue and groove in there. remember, you've already, like I said, once you've taken this off a couple 100,000 times, it'll be a lot easier. Now, this only fits one way, okay? And it's kind of angled up towards the back. Get that down in there like that. Get that puppy down in there. It's a little tight at first, and that's okay. Why it's wanting to bind, I don't know. Hold on, folks. Hold on, folks. Got my tusks. Quick connects are out of the way. Everything looks good. I'm sorry to get my head in the way. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Run that down there like that. Down there like that. Okay. Get it started with your fingers. Make it nice and even on one side. Even on that side. Okay. And then you're going to want to drive that on home on both sides. Now it's very obvious. You want to get nice. You'll feel it when it gets nice and tight, and then real tight, and then half turn off. Real tight, half turn off. And that gives you some room. All right, now what do you have? Your model's basically put together. Okay. So the prop, this is probably going to be a Phillips head at the very end. You got your nose cone. Okay. Yep. Yep. And oh, and this nose, it's black, so that's cool. Okay. All right, got a little black screw. Just let it stay in there. A little flathead black screw. This is your prop adapter. You want to go ahead and take your nut off. Leave this pressure prop adapter on there. Slide it on your prop. Slide that on there. Oh, I was going to, real quick, before we go any further, okay, let me take a drink because I'm talking. I should have already done this, but I want to show it. Just, you know, I don't think I'm going to need it, but I want to show it to be out of practice, to be just for the principle of it. Okay? Having balanced this prop, got me a nice DeBrose prop balancer here. You have to disassemble it each time, and don't lose the parts because these things are hard to come across sometimes. You put it on there, put that back on there, put the washer back on there, put the spring back on there, and the little rubber piece of fuel tubing, put that back on there. Get that nice and tight, and I can almost guarantee you that that prop I think that prop's going to be, no, well, looky there. I don't think we are balanced. Okay, we got what you're looking for when you just to see if a prop is balanced. You want to see it favoring one blade, one piece of the prop over the other, and that is the piece of blade. That's the blade that you're going to sand a little bit of material. But you know, I think we're okay. Because see, it keeps rocking back and forth, and it's not really, yeah, that's fine. If it was like definitely staying on one, and no matter how I put it, it would always go back to that one, then yeah, I'd need a prop. But it's pretty, I think it's going to be just fine. It's going to be, none of them are absolutely 100% perfect. And, but as far as factory stock, E-flite and FMS, they're about as close to perfect as you can get from out of the box. So you always have good luck with them. So, and it's important to make sure your prop is balanced, because you get an out of balance prop, it'll cause a vibration, you lose some performance, it can damage your model. The way a prop should always turn counterclockwise. So in other words, the blade will go bladed out towards you. It's going to turn this way. Okay? Now, a lot of people using nut drivers and all kinds of things. I just use a good old set of pliers and try to grab as much of it as I can. Okay, and if you're curious whether it's tight enough, hold the prop. If the prop ain't coming off, it's good. Okay, last step. Remember, you got that little Phillips head screwdriver screw in there. It's gonna go right into that part, the end of that shaft there. Doesn't really matter which. I don't think it matters which one you put on there. Okay, but it should pop right on. There you go. And you'll feel it. This is the first time I've ever put this model together. There you go. And folks, you now have an assembled Turbo Timber Evolution. So, but we're not going to leave it at that. I'm not going to leave you cold. We're going to fire this puppy up. Yeah, buddy. Use my little welder and install my crap and move everything out of the way. Alright, because remember, we already have this set up. Pretty much. I'm going to have anything fine, no fine tuning. Turn your model on first. Okay? Or your transmitter on first, sorry. Turn your radio, your transmitter on first. Remember, transmitter. It transmits the signal to the receiver, which receives the signal and tells the plane what to do. My throttle cut for here is F. It's in the down position. I always do it that way, so I know my prop will not come on. Oh, thank you. I have a top loader timber. Makes all the difference in the world. It is so nice. Okay. Not worried about CG and all that kind of stuff right now. I'm just want to show you the model in all of its glory. And like I said, I know my throttle cut is off. Okay. As far as detailed radial setup, that may save that for a different video. But did you see the double dance? The double dance tells me that everything's working. I'm going to turn the throttle cut back off. Okay, she got power. All right, now I'm thinking that the throttle's off. Okay, I'm thinking that it's in safe, and it is. How I can tell is I put it up. Well, here, I can show you real quick. Turn the model over. See? It's trying to find its way right back up again. So safe is on. All right, so I've got to turn safe off. So I'm going to assume that that is on the gear. Now, well, anyways, let me get my real quick so I can show the flaps before we go any further. And servo setup, travel, reverse my. Need to reverse my flaps. Yeah. Okay. Now. All right. Remember what I did in my did the flap setup by the manual, okay? And so here is, that is takeoff flaps. That is landing flaps. That's like barn doors, you know? And it's on a 2-second timer. Now, just so you know, what I have for my flap mix, I can show you on the camera. This is the factory settings. Okay. It is, I'll get my, it is 100% for up, for no flaps. The first position, or 0, is, which is takeoff flaps, is a 0 position with 16% down elevator. And then, come on, come back to me, come back to me. And the takeoff or landing flaps is negative 100% with 30% down elevator. I have it on switch D. Okay. And I got it for a 2-second deployment. So, all right. There you go, folks. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to rebind it with safe off. I just don't like safe. And I don't want to have to fool with it. And then I will figure out how to do the reverse thrust, which this is capable of it. And I'll put that on a second, probably be able to put that on a second video at another time. But right now, I'm going to go fly it. So thank you for watching. That's everything. She's all put together, ready to go. Beautiful model. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I know I left some stuff out. Ask me in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer them. Oh, and folks, whenever you watch my videos and you leave comments and stuff, I do my best to answer as soon as I can, but I have to work for a living just like you do. And I have very long hours that I work, so, I might work all weekend long and work 72 hours and, all weekend long. And I'm not answering anything. I'm not even messing with a computer in those days. And so it just depends on my schedule. But I always answer my comments. Maybe not as timely as you'd like me to, but I will always answer them, comment, or respond in some way or fashion or form. So thank you for watching. Be patient with me. I'm doing the best I can, but thank you for coming to my site, seeing this crazy guy put these planes together and fly them, and hopefully whatever I encounter and come across will help you to make a better informed decision and maybe entertain you a little bit. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless you all.